Wannstedt, hanging out with Mully and Haugh.
Mully and Haugh, we've got Coach Wannstedt, we've got Tony Wise here giving us a great insight. And guys, I'm serious about this idea that when you talk about a quarterback that likes to see the ball into someone's hands, that you can't take that moment that it takes. And it was interesting on the game because they did a pretty good job. I think it was Herbstreit kept saying, well, you got to throw the ball right now, but he wants to see it. So he's waited and so it's like the timing of it is just off. And that leads to probably inaccuracy, and that leads to the ball behind a guy or whatever it might be. But it's the difference between, we hear this all the time, NFL Open and College Open. And why is it that you can't already kind of understand it's a preordained pass and we're going to make it anyway, and I trust the receiver? Frankly, I don't blame the guy for not trusting the receivers. They haven't built up trust with him, but that seems to be what a big problem is here.
Aaron, I hate to say this, Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers is going through a similar problem that the Bears are having right now from a passing game
Everything's
standpoint.
relative. You're exactly right, Dave.
And I'll tell you what, first and goal, Tony and I were talking about this walking up, and he said, what happened at the end of the game? I said, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Justin Fields, and I don't know. I'm not going to jump on the table and say he's the guy that's going to take us to the promised land. I'm not there yet. But Bear fans, do not get disappointed because I don't know if we're going to get a fair evaluation of what he can do this year. Not just because of what we're talking about here with Tony, the offensive line, but guys, we got first and goal at the 5 and 2 balls hit receivers' hands.
Yeah.
And we don't catch them.
Right.
That's not NFL. I mean, Tony, we were talking about the Steelers, and I was talking about Kenny Pickett, and who's the receiver? Claypool?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Claypool makes 2 great catches. Well, that's NFL. That's what these guys are paid to do. Well, that's never – I mean, we had 1 catch like that all year, Mooney on that 1 deep ball. That's the only one I can remember that you would say, wow, that was an NFL catch. And we had 2 chances to catch balls inside the 5, and we don't catch either one of them.
And if Mooney doesn't double catch that ball, you do score a touchdown there, right?
Oh, the game's over.
And Pettis flat out just dropped it.
Over.
And that ball was you got to be able to win that ball.
100%.
And there's this, that's pass interference. It's 2 guys going for the ball.
Yeah, I don't know if that's interference.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Tony, when you look at the Bears and you study their pass protection, how much responsibility do you put on the quarterback for holding on to the ball too long, perhaps, and creating some of the protection issues?
Now, I'm older, so I admit that I'm a little out of touch because when I was coaching, we were in 3-point stances and various things like that. So that's completely out of what they're doing nowadays. All I know is that everything we called, there was timing to it. And the quarterback hit this step and he was open and the ball's coming out. There was in my coaching, there was no guesswork about where the quarterback was going to be right here. He was going to be over the right tackle, over the left tackle. He was sprinting out. We knew exactly the depth of the quarterback and where he was every single play.
That's not happening with the Bears.
No, that's not happening at all.
The precision that you describe is something that's lacking.
Because, excuse me, I would say to the tackles, as we know, there's going to be a near miss. When you're blocking Von Miller or these great players, there's, Andy Heck or Cat or whatever, there's going to be a near miss. But the quarterback stepped up into the pocket and threw the ball. And it was a near miss, like a foul ball. That's all it was.
Right. When we look at this team, Dave mentioned the wide receiver position. Okay, so Robbie Anderson moves. They trade him for a second, and I think a 6th this year, next year, and a 7th the year after, which is not a lot. And they eat his salary, so he comes relatively inexpensive. Obviously, guy that got thrown off the sideline. They didn't want anything to do with him. He played for Matt Rule at Temple and was apparently upset that he was whatever. But do you not touch a guy like that? Is he kryptonite for a young team? Do you as a coach feel you can absorb anyone into your group? If there's another guy out there, would you try him out?
I don't know any of the behind the scenes circumstances, but if it's halfway true, if Steve Wilkes, the head coach, first game being a head coach at Carolina, throws you off the field, there's a issue. It's more to it than just that one incident, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I wouldn't touch him. I think the one thing the Bears have done, and nobody wants to hear this, we have cut our roster down. We got $100 million next year. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm believing in Ryan Poles. I'm believing in what he's going to do personnel wise, and Matt Eberflus, what he wants from a head coach's standpoint. I really am at this point. I'm on board. The guy that it hurts under this circumstances is Justin Fields. You know, that's the guy that doesn't have the advantage of really growing, in my opinion. But we got a lot of money, and this roster is trimmed down to the bones. And they've got rid of older players. They've got rid of anybody that they didn't think would fit in. I wouldn't take a chance.
And they're probably going to get rid of more people at the trade deadline.
Robert Quinn should be traded tomorrow, in my opinion.
Right, just to get draft picks, just to start to think for the future.
Absolutely.
Tony, when you look at the Bears offensive line, back to that, and they're in the midst of potentially changing centers. If Lucas Patrick, who they signed to play center in the offseason, has not been able to because of an injury, so he's been at guard. If they move him to center, how difficult is it to change centers 6 games into a season, or is that overstated today?
I think it's a little overstated. Giving them credit that he's practicing and he's doing all the things that is necessary to do. I think it's a little overstated.
Did Olin ever jump in at guard, Tony, or was he center the whole time? Whole time center, right? Roots, Olin.
Yeah,
you're testing my memory.
I'm pretty sure he was a center.
He swapped. Yeah, okay.
He didn't need to play guard. He was too good a center. He was as good as anybody.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and he also, remember, called everything, right? The famous slapping the hand of the quarterback who was Orton trying to point out a blitz or something, and Olin had just given instruction, you keep your hand down.
Now that's another little pet peeve. Now you got to go with this pointing routine. I mean, he just points right or left. I mean, that is the most overstated. Oh God, look, he's pointing out the protection. Please. There's a linebacker to the right. There's a linebacker to the left.
As the story goes, Lucas Patrick, when he was with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers was the one who was calling out protections. It wasn't so much the center. Now he's coming here. And
Olin said that when he went to New Orleans. Olin was obviously used to doing that.
Yeah.
And Drew
Brees did that.
Right. Yeah. Drew Brees said, hey, I got this. I said, okay, fine. I mean, gee, Mitty, really?
Yeah.
Look at the game Thursday night or Sunday. There's a linebacker to the right. There's a linebacker to the left.
Right.
Now, which way am I pointing? And the protection's got an R or an L word to it. R-L. Okay. R.
That guy.
To the right.
Yeah.
You make it sound pretty simple, Tony.
Well, if it's look, these guys got C averages. Okay. You got to approach it that way. It's work, it's practice. They've cut practice down. So they've cut practice down, and everybody, it's got some simplicity to it. It really, these things got some simplicity to it.
Hey, Tony,
the backs to the left. We all knew the formation.
Yeah.
The back is to the left. Okay, I'm going to the right. The back is to the right. Okay, I'm going to the left.
Pretty easy.
Tony, your chalkboard would have 1,000 words on it with today's blocking, huh?
1,000.
Tony would have a chalkboard the first day for offensive line, and he'd write words up there. At that time, it was only when he had all those guys. It was
I'm surprised I had words never to use
in a meeting ever.
Ever. Line plays ABC, right? I'm going to the right. I'm going to the left. I got him.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we've been watching film, and John, I kinda no. Kinda. So I go to the board, write down. No, it's kinda is never to be used. I think. No, you don't think. Eliminate that.
My bad.
My bad.
Oh, God.
So I thought is another one, who do you have? Well, I thought I hit him. No, you don't think you got him.
You know who
You
have,
got
and you
him.
block him.
Yes.
It's that simple. That's good.
So,
That's
Tony,
very
how hard
good.
is it for you to watch a football game when it's 3rd and 1 and you see a team that you're watching come out in the shotgun formation?
Oh,
I turned to a hockey game. They're on the goal line. Watch it Sunday. They're on the goal line and they're going to run a play and the two tackles are in up stances. Okay? So now they're going to try to run forward and the defensive tackle's got the left tackle 5 yards in the backfield. I don't understand.
right.
I truly don't understand. I mean, anyway.
But it's, I think also part of this is when you have like replacement level players, for lack of a better term, guys that are just lined up that you could line somebody else up and you don't feel like you'd have a drop off. It's hard to do complex. It just doesn't make sense to try to add more to the plate of somebody that is probably
the thing that's got me with a complex though is that it's technically shouldn't be that complex.
Okay.
I mean, what empty, there's no back, right? Okay.
Right.
So watch Sunday when it's empty. When it's empty, we got R5 against whoever over there. Yeah. Now, we were, again, there's got to be a direction. Tony, when we call this, I want the line to slide weak. Okay, we all know we're going to slide to the weak side. Fine. This offensive line play is awfully rudimentary, in my opinion.
From a coaching standpoint, you guys have both dealt with accountability and players who make mistakes and how to respond to those mistakes. Velus Jones now has had 2 muffed punts as a punt returner.
Dave, you called that.
You did.
When he came back, you said, you didn't like the idea of putting him in a big special teams position like he was going to save the day. You called that.
2 reasons. One, because he hadn't been doing it,
right,
in my opinion, enough in live action. And 2, you got the NCAA punt return champion for touchdowns on the bench. Dante Pettis, that's why he was drafted out of Washington, was because he was the best punt returner in college football his senior year. He set a record for touchdowns.
In his entire career, Velus Jones returned 18 punts, all at Tennessee in his final year.
And for our listeners, look up what Dante Pettis did at Washington. It'll get that's his value, to my opinion, not a receiver.
But they drafted Velus Jones. They want him to be a returner. He has failed now twice in a row. What would you do? What would you do now?
I'll tell you what I do. I'm going to use a Bill Parcells quote here. I remember talking to Parcells about turnovers and penalties, and he looked me right in the eye and he says, Dave, a player with repeated turnovers can't play. He'll get you fired. Get him out of there. Yeah. I don't care who he is. You're going to turn the ball over, you can't play.
He also, before that,
so I would not play him. I would fair catch. I would put a Bobby Ingram back there who didn't have great speed, but we knew could catch every punt with one hand if he had to. You're my punt returner this week because we are going to catch the ball and give our offense a chance.
Yeah, he on the kickoff return before the dropped punt, it looked like he didn't want any part of it. Like he didn't go catch the ball. It looked like that, and then he ends up dropping one. It hits him in the face mask. I mean, his confidence in that seems pretty.
He can't play. He can't play. I mean, he can't return kicks. He can't catch kicks.
And he doesn't look like much of a wide receiver. He doesn't look like they drafted him as kind of a gadget guy that could be a returner. Apparently,
he reminds me a little bit of. And I haven't seen his hands. I mean, well, I guess I have, right, on the return. But he kind of me a little bit like the Pettis guy, a fast guy that reverses and some screens.
Gadget guy.
Yeah, gadget guy.
Gadget guy.
That's what it reminds me of at this point.
So there's a redundancy there.
There is a little bit of a redundancy. Tony, when you look at Justin Fields, I know you're an offensive line expert, but when you look at him as a football coach, what do you like in what you see?
I got to kind of plead the fifth on that one. I don't. I'm watching the Steelers, and
That's okay. What do you like about Mitch when you watch Mitch Trubisky?
He tries, but they've got their mess.
Yeah,
they've got their equal mess. They're the running game. They're just disinterested. They have this number one running back, and they're just disinterested.
And they also now have a little bit of turmoil. Did you see the report where Mitch went after one of his receivers during halftime, or snapped back at the receiver going after him, and that was why?
That's a bad guy if he got Mitch to bark at him.
Exactly. How you got Mitch Trubisky upset?
Yeah.
So that's why he apparently was benched, but they've got their own issues there.
They got their own issues. Yeah, I don't. The minute you say hold the ball, I say, God, hold the ball, get rid of the ball. I mean,
yeah. Just run the play.
You just run the play.
Yeah.
And when you hear the quarterback coach break it down, it does sound awfully simple. That's he's inside leverage, he's outside leverage, it's cover two, there's the safety. I remember Norv saying to the quarterback, why are you looking over there? It's not open. Come over and focus over here. Okay.
Dave, you have to like what the Bears defense did on Thursday night. And they gave them something to build on going into practice this week. I know it was Washington, but if you're a defensive coach, you have to like the approach that you saw.
Well, I called it last week sitting right here. I said what the Bears have to do, they're not going to get there.
Pressure the ball.
That's
Pressure
exactly right, Mully. I said they're not going to get there with 4 in the first 3 third downs that they had.
They came after him.
They came after him 3 times in a row, and they stopped him.
They broke his finger.
Stopped him.
Did you see that? He had surgery. He's out for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that might be a good thing for Washington. Really. I mean, who knows? But no. So I don't think that approach is going to change. I don't see him all of a sudden. You don't become a great pass rushing team overnight for the same reasons Tony's talking about offensive line. How much work are these guys getting on their fundamentals? Not enough. So that's difficult. So they're going to have to do more pressure than what Matt wants. But I'll tell you what, the guys are playing good. I've got no problems. I mean, with the defense, because they are lacking a little bit of talent in some areas.
Playing better in the secondary.
This will be their biggest challenge thus far with New England on the road Monday night. Besides that, put that aside. The Patriots want to do one thing: run the football. That's all they are doing, and play action pass. They are very, very light on the drop back passing game because of their quarterback.
Yeah.
Screens, run the ball, throw it deep off of play action.
And Mac Jones will be back.
And Mac Jones will be back whether he's a starter or not.
Yeah.
The game plan won't change. The game plan.
Well, Belichick does an unbelievable job of taking something away from anybody he ever plays.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you take away from the Bears?
The run game.
Okay.
The run game.
So you load up and you make him get in the pocket and try to beat you.
Yep. So that's going to be the challenge. What do we do from an offense this week if they stop our run?
And how do you confuse a young quarterback that is having a hard time processing, it appears to have processing information quickly?
Yeah, this will be one of those games. Mark it down. It won't be how many yards we necessarily rush for this week, but how many times we continue to stay with the run. Even if it's 2 yards, and you have a more manageable third down, or you pop 2 yards and you throw a play action pass. That's got to be the combination this week, in my opinion, to have any chance to have success.
Belichick has always said that a run play is a good play. Doesn't matter if it's successful or not, a run play is a good play.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that's a positive if you just even if you get nowhere.
Got to stay with it. Stay with it. That's what the Bears have to do this week. And defensively, don't give up any cheap plays because they're going to run it. They're going to try the same thing.
Who do you like?
They're going to run it. You know what?
You're not going to pick the Bears in this one.
I'm not. I'm not, only for the fact that playing up there on a Monday night, I think this defense right now, the confidence that New England's playing with is really, really good. And they're going to find a way to challenge the Bears offense and Justin Fields to do something other than run the ball. That's going to be the focus.
It is crazy, but if you get Mac Jones back, you wonder, as much momentum as they have offensively, if he might be in a position where maybe he tried to do too much. Maybe he's a little rusty. That might be to the Bears' advantage because the way Zappi's playing, he's playing pretty well.
Absolutely. No, it looks a little bit like what Dallas had with Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
When Dak's out, all of a sudden they kind of pull the wings in and they're going to run it now and play defense and they win 4 in a row, with Cooper Rush. So that's what New England's been doing. Maybe there's something to that.
Well, Mac Jones is desperate to prove he's better than Justin Fields because of his draft stage. I totally made that up. It's a joke.
He's destined to prove he's better than Zappy.
Oh, my
That's
God.
the biggest challenge right now.
Right.
Tony, do you have a pick for the game? We'd love getting a pick out of you.
Well, I just what you said, Belichick is going to take away whatever they do well, so I'm picking the Patriots.
Yeah. It's a good move.
I hate it.
I wish it was happier. I wish we
I
had more faith. I think if Leatherwood plays,
you know what?
This
could be a week. Keep an eye on this one. This could be a week.
Tony, I hope people are watching you on Twitch. That was a great reaction.
This could be a week where we see a little bit more quarterback run. You know, we haven't seen a big dose of that. Try to get Justin Fields moving.
Boy, he's running a lot, Dave, but you might be right.
design quarterback.
Running or running for his life.
Exactly.
Those two things. There's a big difference.
It's the best play, Tony.
Getting rid of the ball or...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Or running for his life. That's right.
I love get rid of the ball. I just threw it in the dirt.
Tony,
I got rid of it.
Fantastic to see you. Thanks for coming
Mully.
in. David, it's a joy every week.
David, thanks
guys.
very much.
See you guys soon. It's Mully and Haugh on The Score.